wanted to talk to you guys about the crochet story. And before you stop the stream or before you think like, oh, Erica, I don't want to hear about crocheting, hear me out, okay? I think that this ties in with a lot of people's life. So, I last year was it last year, uh, or I picked up this baby blanket, and it was a cute baby blanket, but someone just wanted to get rid of it because they they didn't want to put in the work to fix it. So as a result of that, I saw this and I thought, oh hey, let me try to fix this. Now, for me, right, I picked up some hooks and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna fix it. I just gotta like weave the yarn in there and everything will be fine. So I you know I looked at it, I saw a little project, but I just put it off on the side for a number of months. Finally, the day came that I wanted to work on it. And like I said, I don't know anything too much about crocheting. I didn't know what the right hooks were, but I had like a few of them. So I look on a YouTube video and I decide, okay, well, I'm just going to have to weave this thing inside of the what's already done. And maybe in like a couple hours, I'll be able to figure it out, right? Because I was watching a tutorial on YouTube and it will all be good. Now, herein lies the problem. I spent about 2 hours trying to get down this basic, what appeared to be like a basic stitch, because it's like I have to weave it through, right? And I could not do it. I could not do it at all. Like I watched it, rewatched it, watched it, rewatched it, watched it, rewatch it, and my brain saw it, but my hand could not follow. And this made me feel so insecure because I thought to myself, there's something wrong. I'm seeing all these YouTube comments where people are saying things like, oh, yeah, thanks. I made this whole big blanket. And here I am, feeling like a dumbass, wondering how come I just can't get down the stitch away from me. And yeah, I felt overwhelmed. I went back at it like for 2 days trying to figure out this thing, rewatching it, trying to say, okay, this is where it's going. And it just getting down these stitches, I just could not wrap it in my brain. Again, it was like you throw something on a piece of saran wrap and you expect it to stick. It was not sticking. So what I did is I got frustrated because I thought to myself, how can I go and make to restore this thing when I can't even get like 2 stitches down? Like it's just, my I just like shut down because I thought to myself, okay, I guess I'm not just meant to do this kind of thing. I think it's just too hard. So what I did is that I ended up just giving away the supplies. And then for that thing, I just, dropped it off at a free store. And I remember when I dropped it off, I felt so bad because I thought, man, I really wanted to fix it, but I gave up because I just saw when I looked at it, I just saw failure. I just thought to myself, like, I tried, but I failed. And I just cut my losses at that point. Now, I bring this stuff up because I've been decluttering the apartment. And I had a conversation with someone who does, knit and does knit, crochet, that sort of stuff. And they're very good at it. And they were, telling me, they said, oh, did you try to do everything you could? Did you try to figure out if you were using the right hooks? Did you try to figure out, did you try to figure out if you were using the right hooks or not? And the answer is no, I didn't. Did I try to, why didn't I spend more time on it? And I just said, like, I thought the difficulty just got so tough that I just wanted to give up because, the ego kicks in and the ego's like, oh, ego, not the bald ego, the ego. But the ego kicked in and my ego had this like self-protection mechanism. And I was like, oh, Erica, you're not good at this stuff. Just cut your losses kind of thing. And with my life, there are certain things in my life where I just give up, because it's like I just think to myself, oh, I guess I'm not good enough. I guess that, it's not as easy as it should be. I guess, like for instance, right, I've been very upfront about the way that my brain works when it comes to reaching out to people, right? It's easier for me to just wall up rather than it is for me to reach out to people. That's my goal too. I always think that I'm bothering people sometimes when I text message them and it's out of the blue. Like if I haven't spoken to them in a while, I'll be like, "Oh, I must be such a pain in the ass," kind of thing. That's what my brain is telling me. And now, it's like I force myself. I don't want to say force myself like it's miserable, but I just have to work over those emotions and just say, "Okay, Erica, just do it. Just go. Just say hello. Just do something, that kind of stuff." And it's been, as much as my brain is like sometimes screaming at me about things when I do it, I feel like a sense of, okay, ball's not in my court anymore. I actually like overcame my little thing, and it's much better now. And yeah, so now when I look at stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes when I reach out to people, I still have that feeling like I'm bothering them, but I know it's my brain telling me stuff that it's just telling me that because, like the crochet thing, my brain just wants to protect itself from hurt. And I know I'm not the only person who has a brain like that. You guys have it for certain things in life, right? Maybe there was something that you wanted to work on and you tried it and you gave up because your brain told you, hey, you suck at this, right? Like, I don't want to trigger bounce off, but like it's like bounce off in the drawing thing. I think bounce off is now egg white, by the way, but it's like the drawing thing where you say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop drawing because my brain tells me I'm not good enough. I'm not on that level. And I've reached this point in my life where I can do an assessment of my life and say, yeah, it's yeah, this is like the culmination of like my life is a culmination of actions, right? Some worked out favorably, obviously, some didn't work out favorably, like the crochet thing. But I think what's the important distinction is just working through those difficulties. I think sometimes the people who are the most mentally strong are the people who keep going forward even when their brain is screaming at them that they suck at crochet. You see? So that crochet thing, I'm gonna, hold that story in my mind. And I hope you guys hold that story in your mind or think about your own equivalent of the crochet thing because you don't want to feel like you're running away from life. You don't want to feel like, yeah, you didn't, you didn't try to put your best effort in. Sometimes we think we do, right? Like me spending 2 hours trying to do a stitch, I could consider that my best effort. But is that really my best effort? Or is it just the part where I just emotionally shut down and said, screw it. Yeah, this is my comfort zone is shutting down. So I'm gonna stay in my comfort zone. And I'm just gonna throw away that crochet thing instead of working on it. And yeah, people do that in their life. I want to say, more times than we would like because we just make our brain, again, just wants to protect the ego, our ego. Ego. I think my pronunciation is coming off. That's why I'm just kind of thinking like ego, eagle, 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 eagle. And that's where I have been falling short in my life. My brain has the rush to protect itself. And I think one of the reasons why my brain protects itself so easily is because there have been things in my life where I had to, just block away certain things in my life. So, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I have the ability within my brain to just block out certain bad moments in my life. I can block it out really easily. And I get this, I don't want to say, I get this thing where my brain just works in a way that it just says like, okay, this happened, but it's no big deal. Like, okay, yeah. Or sometimes I just like forget about certain things entirely. And it's not like it didn't happen, but I think the way my brain is sometimes, because of certain things that happened in my life, it just, it's kind of like a, I don't want to say like a survivor thing, but it's like a way to self preserve. And I've known that, I've known that my brain is that kind of thing where it can get overwhelmed pretty quickly, so it just shuts off. And that's why you see me do things like wall up. You see me just kind of like things don't sometimes really, how would I say this? Like my brain fortitude, although there are some things like I can get through really well, there are things that if I don't catch myself, right, I'll just easily dismiss it, like the crochet thing. I'll just say, okay, yeah, this is like too difficult. I'm just gonna like, yeah, just forget about it because it's just too tough for me. And yeah, that's not good. So yeah, coming into 2022 right now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have, like I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Moving forward in my life, I have to do a lot of checks and balances in my life, at least for the foreseeable future, because I don't want to have another crochet incident. I don't want to say, yeah, okay, there's something that I did. I'm falling a little short here. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting agitated. And then my brain kicks in and it's like, okay, Erica, like it's okay. It's okay if you're falling short, Erica. Like just wipe it. Just wipe everything. Cause yeah, it's not good, like you can't live your life just saying like, okay, there are certain things like if my brain couldn't handle the mental toughness of crocheting, it just tells you something, right? I mean, like there's not like, okay, let me put it this way. There are things that I get through life, so I don't want you guys to think like I don't do anything in my life at all. But the crochet thing was just really something because it just made me think like, why did I not trudge through that crochet? And it's just because I stacked up the list, right? And I said, okay, there's the positives and there's the negatives. And the negatives just made me feel bad about myself. So I just said, okay, I see what the end result would have been, restoring that blanket, but I couldn't get through those feelings. Now I feel like if I had that blanket in front of me, I would have a different mindset because I would think about it and I would say, yeah, knowing what I know now, I know how to tackle that situation better, right? I could have said, okay, hey, you guys, I'm going to do a live stream. I need you guys to try and help me with this thing. I know I seem like a total dumbass, but I know we have a few people who might be good at this stuff and could give me some pointers. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. I just protected my brain. So, yeah. Yeah, so that is that kind of thing. Uh and on another level kind of thing on the flip side, I do want to tell you that yeah, I have been decluttering the apartment and I have been, forcing myself to do things, but you know what's weird? Well, not really weird, but the more that I get myself out of my comfort zone, the better I feel about myself at the end of it. So I really feel like, again, moving forward in my life, it really will be a struggle between my brain. It's like like a fight between my emotions and my logic. And I'm choosing logic more, but I'm not gonna lie, like I got this little thing in my head that's like, "Oh, Erica, this is too overwhelming. Just shut down," kind of thing. And then I got Logic who's like, wait, hold up, Erica. Like you can do this, you can do this little thing, but yeah, you just can't let emotions like override logic. Like, you're a smart chick. You could figure this thing out. So just go do it. And the emotions are like, no, 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 like, oh, it's embarrassing, that kind of thing. Like you see? So I know you guys have that same kind of thing too. People get lost in their head and they struggle every day with emotions preventing them from from achieving certain things. And like we all have to think, like if you're the highly emotional person at times, like you really have to just say to that emotion, that little thing that's inside of your brain, like, hey, cool it off, like just stop, just stop, you know. I've already had like one crochet incident. I can't have another crochet incident in my life. And yeah, again, you know, when I talk about this stuff, I know for a fact I'm not the only person in the world to have a crochet incident. But if you look in the deeper meaning of it, right, you can kind of see where my thought process is, and you can kind of see how my brain is. And that is definitely a problem that I recognize. So moving forward, right, I don't want to be like that. I really don't. I don't want to like run away from things. I rather just blast myself online and say, yeah, these are the issues that I'm working on. This is the stuff that I have. And some of the stuff that I have is huge communication issues, which I'm working on. And yeah, well, like when you're just too emotional and you're not logical enough, that's really not a good thing in life. I think sometimes it's good, you know, it's good to feel emotions, but once, you know, life does not run on emotions. Life runs on, you know, what do you do? It's not just feelings. So if you hold on to feelings but you don't apply logic to it, that leads to crochet incidents. Right? That's when you hit a wall and you can't overcome certain things. Yeah. Oh, you know, I haven't seen Oreo in a really long time. I think I'm gonna see Oreo today, and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, hey, little guy," you know? Yeah, just give him a hug and stuff like that. But yeah, he's so cute, you know. But like I've said, right? Like Oreo is not my cat, so it's okay. You know, his heart doesn't go with me anyway. I know, cause Um, when Lewis wasn't home, he was just like, whatever, Erica. Like, he rather stay by the door than sleep with me. It's like, Oreo, come on now. So, Oreo's a very, very, very loyal cat. Very lovely. Not the smartest cat, but very lovely cat. Ranting in the ether for hours doesn't really help. What do you really want? No, it's like I do these things, and then it's not like I stay all day doing nothing, but I start my day off, you know, just reflecting, and sometimes I start my night off reflecting too. And it's just a way to just talk about things, kind of thing. So I'm not like don't think like I just stay in bed all day doing nothing because I don't. Just because you guys don't see something doesn't mean it's not happening. You guys get what I'm saying? It's easy. That's the dangerous thing about YouTube. When you know, when you talk about things and people can't see things, they just assume like nothing changes. But there have been changes and there has been growth. But yeah, it's easy to be like, okay, well, if I can't see it, it must not exist. I just talk sometimes because it's like I can't sleep. So I need to just like, I feel like I have to talk things out. So my brain just kind of thinks like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Erica, yeah. And while I'm thinking anyway, I feel like I might as well record it because that's just the way my brain works. Like I think to myself, like, hey, if I'm gonna just have these thoughts, maybe I'll share it. Maybe I'll help someone out there. But it's not easy. You know, it definitely is not easy. Like just having your ego be like, ouch, ouch. Uh, that's, that's the thing about life. You know, I rather be vulnerable and fragile and just show that side than just feel like, okay, you guys, I woke up today and I didn't feel anything and I just did everything and my life is great and things like that. Because I think that's so alienating, and I don't want to give off that image. I know, like on YouTube, there's this pressure to be like, oh, okay, well, I had a problem and I solved it in 15 minutes, or I solved it in, you know, I built a house in like 15 minutes, you guys. Look how easy it is. Like, people like hearing those kind of stories. You know, they don't want to hear like people talk openly about their shortcomings or, you know, really what they're working on. And then, yeah, like you can't see, you know, you can't see my brain. I can talk about my brain. I can talk about certain things and mindsets and things like that. But yeah. Yeah, I've already told you guys what I want, you know. I want to be a less emotional person and a more logical person. I want to face my fears, you know, face my fears and communicate a lot more. You know, one day I'm just gonna, I can see myself, like, I can see myself being all like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna say like I'm a perfect person, but here are all the things that I'm working on in my life. And this is the stuff that I wanna, you know, I wanna have control over and just leave it at that. You know, there are things that I'm working on that hasn't come to fruition yet, but I do want it to come into fruition. And I'm working on it, like selling the stuff and decluttering stuff and things like that. But ultimately, you know, that kind of stuff, it's, you know, it doesn't handle itself in like 2 minutes. So yeah, if I have more little battles where it's like emotion versus logic and I choose logic, I think my life will be much better. I I tell you this straight up. Um, I had so many issues, so many issues that in my life, you know, that I just did not realize how bad it was, kind of thing. That I think moving forward, I really do need to be transparent about a lot more stuff with people that I bring into my life, people that I talk to, because I don't want people to assume certain things about me, and I don't want my ego to kick in and just protect itself and then just not communicate. You see? So that's why I'm choosing to put myself in a vulnerable position where I'm saying, hey, I'm working on things and it's not easy, but I'm doing it and I'm really forcing myself to do it. And yeah, it gives me, you know, it gives me anxiety and things like that to just like share some of this stuff because my brain is telling me like this is so embarrassing, Erica. Like don't you understand? Like there are people in life who it's like they're just able to just breeze through life so easily. You know, they don't have this problem that you have, Erica. They just like they have a difficulty and they just plow through it, but you're not able to do that. You're not able to do that so effortlessly. You know, why are you sharing this kind of stuff? It makes you look like it makes you look terrible. But that's when my logic kicks in and I say, no, I have to actually should talk about this stuff because I think it's a pretty prevalent problem in people. You know, that kind of cycle. And that's why you see me talk about this. No, I mean those are some of the things, but like for instance, right, I gotta post things online. I've been posting things online. I've been decluttering things online. I mean, I've been decluttering things. I have a goal what I'm gonna do if I can't get rid of things in a few days. I have to sell things. I have to, you know, get my plushies from the store, that kind of stuff, right? So it's like these are the things that I gotta do: post it, sell it, and yeah, and it's like really just sticking to a game plan, but you know, sometimes when people go through life, right? Like they think to themselves, for instance, right? Okay, I wanna exercise, right? And then they just say like, oh, their emotions are telling them like, oh, you're not exercising enough. You know, yeah, you're never, you know, like how come you aren't getting gains like other people? But really what it comes down to is that how much can you, how much control do you have over yourself mentally? Can you can you look in the mirror and then say, yeah, I want to look different? Or do you just look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I feel so insecure about myself. I just want to like not do anything." It's the ego protection. What are you happy or proud about yourself? I'm happy. I know this is going to sound strange, but I'm actually happy that I'm at where I'm at in my life. I know some people would say there's not really much to be proud about yourself, Erica, but I'm happy that I have what I have in my life. And I'm happy that I have this realization at 33 versus 34, 35, 36, 37. Um, like I said, I know people who go into these pitfalls and they're like double my age. And I look at them and I say, geez, that's not a, you wonder about their life kind of thing. So I'm happy that I'm proud that I made this realization and I'm happy that I'm changing. But yeah, that's it kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm happy that I'm working on things. But again, it's like an ego thing because I'm feeling like, frick, damn it. This is so embarrassing. This is so, this is all the stuff kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, after I achieve my goal, I think, I hate to say it, but part of me thinks like, depending on how I am, I think that my brain will just choose to, like, I think my brain will just like choose to wipe certain things. So that's it. It's like I had a lot of learning experiences. And yeah, I have mental health support now. That's more vague. Can you be more specific? Oh my gosh. I'm happy that I acknowledge my mistakes. I'm happy that I'm moving forward. I'm happy that I have realization about the crochet thing. I'm happy that I'm decluttering things. I'm happy that, I'm moving on with my life. I'm happy that I realize like how much of how much like going into my comfort zone does not actually make me a better person. I'm happy that I realize that communication is extremely important. I'm happy that I have this realization at 33 instead of 34, 35. And I'm happy that I have years, if I want to, really, to, tackle this. I know I don't think I'm going to pass away in like 2 days or anything like that. So I'm happy that I have a really good family. I'm happy that I have really good friends. I'm happy that I have my health. I'm happy that I have a mind that can think and I can actually reflect on life because sometimes people don't take enough reflection on life. I'm not too happy that sometimes I overthink, but I'm happy that at least I'm working on communication problems. And I'm happy that like I have this understanding of that's just who I am at the moment. But I want to just like fight when it comes to my life moving forward rather than just say like, hey, this is it, like, hey, the crochet thing, like it is what it is. I don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, that's why like one of the things that I told you guys is that I'm just like there's just so many things about me that I think, like I think I have really good qualities within me, but I think that I'm also that kind of person where it's like I know this sounds terrible, but I think to myself, like, geez, I have so many. so many like things that I gotta work on. And they're not, here's the thing, like I have enough logic in my brain to say I'm not like an absolute loser. I know that. Like I need to work on this, I need to work on that. And it's not that big of a deal, you know. It's not like I fucked up my life like permanently or anything like that by not doing something like the crochet thing, right? But yeah, it's like I can always like I'm changing that ship around, and that makes me happy in a sense. It makes me fearful, don't get me wrong. It makes me emotional, don't get me wrong. But I don't have that kind of thing where I just like say like, okay, this is it. You see? So that makes me happy because it's like I know like if I want to change, I can change. But, you know, moving forward, I think that I'm going to be a lot more, how would I say this? I think my actions moving forward will be a lot more just cooler and like less emotional response because I just let the emotional response thing just like have the overdrive and then it paralyzes me and that's not good at all. So you have those kind of, awareness kind of thing. Is that a good answer? I've just said that kind of stuff. I'm just like, just working on those flaws and then yeah, and then it'll be better. Like I'm smart enough to know like if I just worked on these things, my life would improve so much more. And it's not like it's not like rocket science. It's just like common sense kind of thing. But yeah, it's not rocket science at all. Like I have enough logic in my brain to just realize like some of these goals are like super easy to achieve. But the downside about that is like it doesn't, just like talking about this stuff, just talking about it openly, like I know the optics of it. And people will hear this stuff and people might say like, "Hey, that just sounds so like that sounds so like problematic. Like why would we want to be around a person like that?" And that's one of the reasons why like like I just didn't want to talk about a lot of stuff because it just feels embarrassing. It makes me feel like that. But like I have to think pros and cons. Okay, I lose people in my life because they think that this is embarrassing. But what do I gain by just hiding from that embarrassment? I don't really gain much unless I face my issues, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. So that's why for me it's like uh all my friends um that I talk to, it's like I'm just upfront with them. Like I just tell them like this is stuff that I have in my brain and I know it's not a pleasant conversation to talk about, but I could really use, like I could just like really just use some guidance about certain things. I could really use some help about certain things. But yeah, overall, like people have been really supportive about it. I don't know anybody in like my friend circle who has thought negatively of it, except just be like, "Oh, Erica, you're so emotional. You think so much." I'm like, yeah, you can understand why. I'd just rather keep some things bottled in. It's not, it's not, it's not sexy, like it's not sexy to talk about these kind of things. It's not, it's not, what's that word? Like if you had to think about a perfect person, you wouldn't think about that. You would just want a person who's just like doesn't have these issues. You would want to, like, that's what I think. That's my logic side. Like, you would just want to be with a person who just, like, you just, like, they have no problems in their life. Like, they just say, like, oh, okay, how's your day today? Oh, I want to drop, like, a couple pounds, so I'm just going to do it. And yeah, okay, yeah, so I'm going to do a lifestyle change and I'm going to diet, and that's it. Okay, I'm doing it. That's it. Like, there would be there would be no emotions behind it. It wouldn't be insecurity because I think insecurity is so unattractive to people. And I know that. Like, nobody wants to hear about insecurities. Nobody wants to hear about problems, really. But we all have insecurities and we all have problems. It's just that some people bury it more than other people. Yeah. Zato says everybody has baggage. I think we live in a day and age that people don't want to get, to deal with too much baggage. You know, that's what I think, at least. But everybody has baggage. It's just some people, when they hear certain things, they think, like, oh man, that sounds like a big thing. Jeez. Ouch. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, I'm forcing myself to do things and just, working through things. And it's not easy all the time, but I force myself to do it. And then after I do it, I feel like these little moments of success, and it makes me happy when I succeed. Like, I don't want to fail. Like, I want to succeed. Like, I know it sounds like people are probably listening, like, what? But no, seriously, like, at the end of the day, I want to succeed, and I just gotta like turn up that emotional response or like tone. And yeah, yeah, but I'm definitely not a robot or anything like that. But this is one of several reasons why I just, you know, like I've said that before, right? I just said, like, when people are like, oh, go out, meet people, date Erica. I'm like, fuck that. Like, no, I'm not gonna like subject anybody to that. The whole thing where they're like, oh, Erica, so how's things? And I'm just like, oh, I just feel so overwhelmed. Like, that would just be such a turn off, I think. And people would just look at that and they're like, oh, geez, yikes. Like, no, that kind of stuff. That's at least how I feel about it. So that's why I'm just focusing on me. And yeah. So although I feel emotional right now, like, don't get me wrong, like my shortcomings, and I'm like, ouch, ouch. My ego is like hurt and crying. Yeah. I mean, like, you accept failure, but moving forward in my life, I just want to just make all those failures go away. And that's like, I just want to say, like, yeah, you know what? I used to be like a different person, and I used to just let my emotions get under my skin, and I used to just give up quite easily. And that's the reason why, that's the reason why it's like my life was the way it was. It's just because I just gave up like way too easily, and I didn't try and exhaust every single option with the crochet thing, right? Life is all about choices. And like I said, I don't think I'm a bad person. I don't think I'm a stupid person, but I think I just have a problem with my emotions. And yeah, that's it. And yeah, so like I said, right, goals, why I have to get this stuff under control is life moves on. And I have certain goals that I want to achieve in life. And my goodness, like, if I had a child, and if I had to think about bringing a child into this world right now, would not want to have myself as being a mother right now mentally. I would just say, like, you have too much problems, Erica. You have too much things that you're working through, and you're not mentally strong enough to be a mother. So that's one of the things that pushes me, because I think to myself, like, yeah, I gotta like toughen up because of that. So yeah, that's the stuff that I work through. But again, I just wanted to talk about this stuff because I do believe in the future I will be different. And but people will hear this stuff and they're like, dang, she really did have a lot of struggle in her brain. But I'm hoping, through good habits over and over and over, it'll be better. Yeah. I mean, like, I do take risk in life. Don't think like I don't take any risk in life. I have taken risk in life. It's just like, there are certain things that hit really close to home. And yeah, like certain insecurities kind of thing. Yeah. There are certain things that I think people are rigid about. And yeah, you know. So it's either like you make it or you don't. And yeah, that's it. That's really in life, right? You either make it or you don't. You kind of like feel like you succeeded in life or just kind of floating around being mediocre or you're just failing. And right now I want to be in that, upper top part. I don't want to be mediocre actually in my life. I know that sounds people probably say like, "Oh, really?" I don't. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things I learned. A lot of realizations that I had in my life. Just just, just going through it. Yeah. Okay, I got like 3 more minutes and then I gotta get on. Like I said, I like having a reflection in the day, get on with my day. At night, I'll talk about something and then just, some people will say, oh, Erica, it's so strange for you to talk about this stuff in the morning. But I think the morning sets our mind. And I think that instead of just going through the motions, at least for me in my life right now, I want to just say, okay, these are the things that I have. These are the feelings that I'm working for. How will I just really hit a home run in my life? How will I do that? Like, cause right, the morning sets the mindset, and that's why I mind doing these streams in the morning because yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what the thing is? I don't want to like look in the future and look at myself and someone just telling me things like, you're just so subpar, Erica. You know, I don't want that. I don't want to feel like in the future someone, like I feel like in my life or my head it's like, you tried to be a nice person, Erica, but at the end of it, you just couldn't control your emotions and you just became mediocre. You basically just you basically just never achieved a lot of the things in your life because you just let emotions control you. And you were just unable to turn off those emotions, Erica, because you just weren't mentally strong enough. And it really manifested itself in your life. So, like, that's the kind of thing that I've been working through. And that's why you see me do things. And again, I talk about anxiety. I talk about getting myself out of my comfort zone. And that's why I follow up and I say, yeah, when I do get out of my comfort zone, I'm actually really happy with myself. Why do other people's opinion matter? People aren't grading you on the same mature criteria. Because one day I want to settle down with someone. One day I want to have a child. I can't have a child by myself. I don't want to have a child by myself. It's an option, but I don't want to have a child by myself. I want to have a life where someone looks at me and they say, "Yeah, she's actually like she has issues, but she tries to work on those fucking issues, and I'm really proud of her." That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want to just be like, "Oh, Erica was just so risk adverse. She didn't tackle like certain problems." she got lost in her head. She fell into this trap over and over and over and over. Like that's the kind of narrative that I want in my life. Like she really does try. She really does fight. And she might not be the smartest or the, this or that, but she tries, you know? And that's something to be commendable about. That's how I think at least. And that's a much better thing than just being all like, yeah, I just don't want to hurt I just let feelings of insecurity control me. Does that make sense? But yeah, yeah, that's that's the thing, you know. I've had a lot of conversations, you know. And one of the things that I think really got under my skin is I remember I was talking to one of my exes. We're good friends and everything like that, but I just, I asked them. I said, "Why?" I just asked them like very upfront. And I said, just like why didn't it work out? I thought we had a really great relationship. And this is a person that I dated like years ago, years ago. But they told me, they said, "But you're just you're just so simple." And it really broke my heart. It just really broke my heart so much. Cuz it's like I thought to myself, I said, "Jeez. Like I know I'm simple, but like I don't think I'm like I don't think I like am I so simple to the point that it's unattractive?" That's what I thought. And then I thought about it and I thought, yeah, I've always been kind of simple. I've always been like, I'll just go through life and I'll just be, I'll just, be me kind of thing. And I just kind of always stayed around my comfort zone. And that's not going to fly, like, I don't think that's going to fly. Yeah. Nah, it depends. It depends. So that's why I'm like forcing myself out of my comfort zone and just being like, oh, I gotta like change the narrative kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm working on stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like you hear all this emotional stuff, but don't think I'm like paralyzed by this emotion. It's just hearing me just work through this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are all like the little things that's still like the little barbs. But yeah, these are kind of like the things in my head, kind of thing. They pop up. Like I said, I think everybody knows. Like I'm really emotional, but yeah, life doesn't run on emotions. Life runs on achievements and goals, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah, and yeah, that's what really like ultimately matters. It's like keeping those emotions in check and just staying focused. And I hold on to that. I hold on to that goal. But I don't want to just be that kind of person where it's like, oh, okay, she's nice, she's sweet, but that's about it. Or, you know, that's it. I want to be more than that. And I'm trying, I'm working on it, kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah. Hmm. Anyway, I'm gonna get started on with my day. I had my good little morning reflection. And yeah, I like I said, I don't think these feelings are that bad as long as I just, go the opposite direction because my brain wants to tell me like just cry all day, Erica, sometimes, but
that doesn't do anything, right? I have enough logic to realize that. So, yeah, go on with my day, get stuff done, and then just work on stuff. And then, yeah, at the end of the night, just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And, yeah, that's, that's the changes that I'm making in my life. I'm not just letting emotions hold me back. I'm working through those emotions. You hear me trying to say that, right? Like I'm working through those emotions. I never stopped being so emotional. As like I have it under control, like, but it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. But yeah, when I think about certain things, I'm like, oh, I can't help but get emotional thinking about it. But yeah, I look at that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's just move forward and game plan it. Yeah, I'm just gonna like sell them and things like that. So I'm gonna collect my plushies and then sell them. I want to sell them locally, see how that works. But you know what? I thought to myself, I said, oh, maybe I can sell the plushies locally, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to churn them out unless I go to like uh, some kind of like, I don't want to say some kind of sale or something like that. We'll see. Like like a swap meet or something like that. But yeah, I want to sell like a whole bunch of them. And then maybe bring a few with me back to Hawaii, but that's it. Because at the end of it, I rather just have the cash than just like toss them or something like that. That makes sense. I think that makes sense. So yeah, okay, you guys, I'm gonna get on with my day. Thank you for listening to me and my emotional butt. But yeah, emotions don't have to cripple you from getting on with your day. You just gotta work through it, and when you work through it, you can be emotional as much as you want. But as long as you have results, I think that's really all that matters. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that, the more results that I have, the less emotional I get about certain things. I don't, like I said, I'll look back at this time in my life and I don't think I'm going to be like, oh, I really fucked up, that kind of stuff, or I really messed up about this or that and this or that. Because I think I'll just say, yeah, that was a moment in my life, that was a stage in my life, and I grew from it. And if I didn't have certain things and certain realizations in my life, and if I didn't proactively take control of it, I would still be that person that I was back then. See? And you guys, if you guys have like certain, and like there, I know there's something in my streams that maybe resonate with in people or people see like parts of themselves in it. But yeah, just turn off that emotion, get on with the actions, and then, yeah, if you want to spend, some time in your day just feeling emotional, it's okay. It's totally okay to do it, but at least you hold on knowing that you accomplished something that day or you worked on bettering yourself. So I'm not gonna like hide the emotions and be like, oh, it's just I have faith that the emotions will get less and less as time goes on. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.